Hello, hello, very warm welcome everyone. It's Marta. Welcome back. My friends, there's so much going on in my life and in my crafting life. I am absolutely over the joy, and I'm sorry I'm gonna be a little bit irregular for the next coming few weeks, but I have a lot of things happening, and I'll tell you that in a minute. But I just wanna give you a little introduction. As I've promised, we are going to be making super fancy project with the flowers we created with the help of the kitchen towel. I'm just roughly show you what I have here. I have a blue color cardstock, which is 12 by 12 inches, and then I have design paper and a piece of the acetate. I initially had a totally different idea for this card today, but because I have last piece of this construction acetate, the other one is too small and I don't have any more of it, I've decided to kind of make a twist on my original idea, and this is what I will be sharing. Now, the video is divided into different parts. There will be part 2 just now, and then following by the part number 2, and the part number 2 is actually the whole thing. Today we are gonna be making a box which will be this will be a base to use for my project, and I think I've decided to split it in two parts because first and foremost the video was 1 hour 40 minutes long, so that's why I'm making the box separately, and secondly I wanted to give you a little bit more details on the other part. Now, I'm starting from this piece of the cardboard, and this was 6 inches. So I've decided to work with this size, and I'm making those two flaps for the box, which are a 1.5 inch. So I'm scoring at 1.5 inches, then 3, then I'm going to 9 inches, and then a 10.5. And then just to let you know, my friends, it's always easier if you've got the same measuring to do it on one side and then twist on other side. Now, I'm doing exactly the same thing on a side way, but this time I'm taking under account the width of this box, which was 3 inches. So instead of scoring at 9, I'm moving a little bit closer and I'm scoring at 6 inches, and then 7.5, and at 9 inches I will chop it off. So here you can see I have this little base for my box, and now all I have to do, I need to cut out all these 3 pieces on the corner, like each 3 of them, and then I am leaving the flats which are always the same direction. Either you do it towards the top and the bottom or sideways, and I'm telling you that this is a better way to put the box together, because if you will do the flaps, each one of them different direction, it's much harder to put the box together. You will see in a minute, once I will be gluing it together, why I'm saying that it's always better idea to leave the flap facing the same direction, like on both ends I am having them facing either up and bottom or sideways. So now I have my box, and I will use this piece of the cardboard to strengthen up my piece. So that way I will have a little bit more sturdiness to the box, and this way it's also acting as a weight for the box, so the box is less likely to collapse once we add the larger element on top of that. Now, to create the lid for this box, I'm gonna be making it a little bit smaller. So my base is 1.5 inch, and now I will do the top lid as 1 inch size. So I am doing it that I am scoring at 1 inch, 2 inch, and now I am moving my paper it at 3 inches just so I could move it back slightly, and I'm actually, instead of making 6 inch, I am making the 6 inch and 1/8 of the inch mark. So my top will be slightly bigger, because once you fold all this paper you will need a little bit extra room. So here you can see, if I had it at 2 inches, I couldn't move it back because I have this line of the scoring board, but if I move it to 3 inches and then slightly move back, I am able to score at 6 inches, but instead of having 3 inches inside, I will have that 3 inches and 1/8. So that's what I like to do, and it's easier to score on a full inch, and that way it's just, you know, I don't have to remember, and it's less likely for me to make a mistake. And again, I'm doing exactly the same thing. I will be cutting off all these bits, and I've made a mistake here. I was chatting while I was having this video because I was so happy to share my happy news with you that I chop off this little piece. But don't worry about it. If it's happened to you, you can always glue it back, and this is what I'm gonna be doing. I quickly pick up one of those squares, and I've just adhered it to my piece over here, and voila, my flap is done. It's ready, and you know, no one will see it that was mistake. And if it's easier for you, you can also do it that way, and you know, redo the flap. This one, the first one I actually glue, it was a little bit too narrow, so I even changed it before the glue had the chance to dry. I just changed for another one. It is important that your flap will be from you know, one end to another, because that way you won't have any gaps once you put your box together. And again, the adhesive was a little bit wet, so I've moved it, and now I'm just pressing it down, and my box is ready. Now, very important tip: once you have those remaining bits, make sure you actually cut in within the scoring line, so you don't have any more like sticking out outside the scoring line, because that will be easier for you to fill the box. Now I am gently trimming this piece a little bit just so it will fit nicely, and I will cover it up with the design paper. This is actually one of my own design. I haven't published it yet anywhere, but just to let you know that that design paper I'm using, and you can use whatever you have. Have a look on your stash, have a look through the color papers, and the best way for this type of the creation, just to give you advice, is to actually have the pattern paper which is not direction oriented, because here we're gonna be putting the strips all around the box. So if, for example, you will have some sort of the font or butterflies or something, you know, like a bird, something which will be oriented, then you have to remember, so each strip will be oriented proper way, so once you put your box together, they're not gonna be upside down. This is why I like those designs which are a little bit busy pattern. Like here there's lots of the little like a flourishes, like different ornaments, but they could flow on any direction, so I don't have to worry about, you know, putting them in certain way. So I am adhering the strips, and it is my tip, my friends, if you're putting any box, explosion box or anything like that, always try to dress up your elements before you will put it up together, because this is so much easier to be able to, you know, adhere those strips, move them around to make sure you put it straight away if you have it lying flat on your surface, rather than you put the box together. And sometimes it is very hard, especially for the central part. If you put your lid or box together and you've got to glue it down, and you're trying to put the central piece in the center, you could actually make a little dents once you're gonna be pressing down your paper. So that's something you may want to avoid. So I rather prefer to dress up all my boxes before, and then last thing I am adding it. And here is what I'm gonna do. I'm just making sure with the bone folder that all elements are glued properly, and it's very important you add the glue all the way down to the edges to this decorative paper. And here's what I'm doing. I'm adding the glue like a U shape on these two flaps, which are having little flaps, and that way I can put those two sides first. And because I have the flaps on the both ends, like they're not each one separately, it is so much easier to put the box together. Now once I have them glued, I can fold it and adhere both at the same time. And if you would have a flap from each one four sides different direction, it would not be as easy. Now I'm adding adhesive to those flaps, and I'm making sure I am smearing the glue right up till the edge. So you see that little line, scoring line, you want to have adhesive all the way there. If you like, you can also add the sticky tape, like double-sided tape or something, but it's very easy with the regular glue, and it doesn't really take much time. Now I am holding it upright, those two bigger flaps, and I'm folding one piece, making sure that the ends are meeting nicely, like it's nice and straight, and then I am folding the other side, and we have this very beautifully finished professional look. And what is important, creating those double flaps, which are like overfolding towards the inside portion, it will give your box way more sturdiness, and it will be this nice finished look. Because sometimes you can create that box with the single layer like flap, just put it up and that's it. But if you have double layer and you fold it over to the inside of this box, this is way more elegant, and it looks way prettier. Now I have this cardboard piece, and I already cut one piece for it, but then I somehow use it to cut those little pieces on the side, so I'm just having to, you know, redo that one, and I'm just making sure it's fit nicely into my box, and then I will add it onto my piece of the cardboard. And you can do it without the cardboard. However, I'm gonna be creating quite bulky and nice elegant composition on the top of my lid. So this is gonna be serving as the card and as a memory box at the same time. Having a piece of the cardboard or, like, you know, that could be cereal box or pizza packaging, whatever you have, this will provide your box with the sturdiness, but it will also be a little bit heavier on the bottom, so it will help your box and it will prevent it from collapsing in case you're gonna be adding something larger composition on top of the box. So here I am adding glue, I am smearing all the glue inside, making sure there's no blobs, so nothing will be bleeding from underneath, and then I'm using my bone folder to press it. And this box, it's very pretty, it's beautiful, and you don't have to necessarily do the same sizes as I'm doing here. This will be a great if you've got like a photos, like a bunch of the photos for the baby or the wedding couple. You can adjust the size of this box accordingly to your needs. You can put like a stack of the Polaroid photos or something else, maybe like a little book or something else. If you're giving someone a present, for example, that could be like, I don't know, some jewelry or watch or something, you could create the same box, but just change the this middle section sizing accordingly to your needs. And it's very easy, very simple, and this is also very interesting way to give someone your crafty items, but it's not just boring card, if I can say so. Now on this piece here I have this paper, and it's slightly smaller than the piece of the cardboard I have. And at first I wanted to trim the cardboard, but then I thought, I quite like this little piece sneaking out from underneath, so I will leave it. You're not always have to be super perfect. You sometimes can switch things a little bit, and it's okay that something is sticking out. This border, this piece, like I would cover up. If that would be just regular like a cardboard piece, I would probably cover it up, but because it's this nice compressed beer mat cardboard, which is having this interesting cream color, I am not bothered by this two sticking out, so that's why I'm using it here. Now I'm cutting the strips again the same way as we did on the bottom, but this time I'm just gonna be covering up the part of the lid. And this box was very easy. I think I've put it up together in around half an hour, and then rest of the video I was creating this big display. I'm not showing you this display just now, but I hope that this is gonna be interesting for you to look forward to see the part 2. If you're watching by now, of course, please give a like, write down some comment, let me know how is your day, if you like to create those 3D elements like larger cards, something, whatever you like, just share something, just write down the comment. And if you can, please share the click the share button, send it post it on your social media or something. Maybe some of your friends, they would like to learn how to do those fancy cards and the projects, and that could be something interesting for them. Now I am adhering this piece of the design paper on top of the cardboard, and as you can see here, I have this teeny tiny cream layer all around, and I think it's just enhancing the pattern, and this cardboard is actually working as my mat, so I don't have to put anything else, but I have this element not only elevated with dimension, but it also gave me that additional mat around my piece of the design paper. And again, I'm doing exactly the same thing as on the bottom. Firstly, I'm going all over for edges, and then I am adhering this piece in the center. And I must to tell you, my friends, if you like to create explosion box or anything else which requires lid, having the piece of the cardboard is a game changer. While I was working on my top composition, and you will see that in the next part, it's kind of a big, and I just love it. I need to tell you right now that I am absolutely over the moon how this projects turn out is, and I hope, and I'm pretty much sure, and not only hope, that you're gonna love it as well. And having this piece of the cardboard in the center, this is what helped it to kind of keep the shape, and I was able to put a very bulky, very big composition on top of that, but this cardboard prevent the lid from collapsing in the center. So that was a really great idea to add, and I think I'm gonna be doing it more often with the lids for my explosion box, especially the one which I am dressing up heavily, like I'm adding lots of layers and lots of things on the top. And I've noticed that this piece of the cardboard, having it on the bottom of the explosion box and on the top of the lid, that will be something which I think I will be doing more often to give it more sturdiness. So that is my box for today. It's almost ready. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you will join me for the next part of this video, where we actually will turn this box into one of the kind spectacular WOWZEER piece. Thank you so much for watching. I am wishing you all the best, and stay blessed, my friends. Bye bye.